Greetings, my people. Greetings, my people. I come to you and I greet you in the language of BB Fahodier, African Liberation. It's been a couple of weeks. I've just been kind of plotting. Plotting, planning, and strategizing. You know, getting getting things in order with myself. So it has been some time since the uh, George Floyd protests. The George Floyd, and I want to say something about this. It wasn't just about George Floyd. I know so much of his name and the media circus and the circus that the funeral was. But it wasn't just about George Floyd. It was about Breonna Taylor. It's about Corin Gaines. It's about Andrew Joseph III. It's about Kendrick Johnson. It was about Jamarian Robinson, Nicholas Thomas, and the list goes on. So as you can see by the title of my video, Killer Cop Strikes Again in Atlanta. So just recently, last night, a 27-year-old brother, Rayshard Brooks, was murdered by the race soldiers. And before I get into, I like to deal with information and give you books to read. Because if we read, we understand things better. We understand the context of the war in which we are in. And that's some of the things. A lot of us don't even understand we're at war. And we really have to change the narrative of that. Because to me, in my opinion, wars are by two parties fighting back. And we ain't doing no fighting back. We're not fighting back at all. What we are doing is finding more ways not to fight, if anything. I mean, the foolish circus that has been in Atlanta, the foolish people, Killer Mike, T.I., idiots. T.I. stands for total idiot. The Killer Mike speaks for itself. The mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, idiots. So throughout this media circus, we see the people. This is a battleground we're on. This is a battleground. This is the war zone we're on. Oh, we see them out there doing the cha-cha slide. We see them doing the Macarena. We see them doing all of the everything but waging war. And war has various stages other than just fighting. Because we're not ready for that. A lot of us don't even understand that the pigs are our enemies. A lot of us, in our level of fear that has been induced in us, see us always as the wrongdoers. Well, he shouldn't have fought back. Well, if he just would have did this. Well, if she just would have complied. And I think about situations like the brother Philando Castile, who was a licensed carrier, who notified the race soldier that he was a licensed carrier. But did that stop him? He complied. So we have to get out of this notion of if I just would have complied. If they just would have did that. If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. How about switching if the officers didn't pull that trigger? If the officers used rational logic and talk. If the officers didn't just see us as threats. But see, then when we put the ifs on that, the waters get kind of muddy and we But as I always do, and let me get some light so I can see. And of course, I got information for you. Give me 1 second. Turn the light on. Just so I can see. It's daytime. Still want to be able to see. So last time, I think I gave you 100 years of lynchings. And then the time before that, I gave you the Psychopathic Racial Personality by Nana Bobby E. Wright. So this day, because see, it's warfare. We have to use all lines of knowledge and all lines of things in this war. We can't just study us because we end up knowing who we are, but we don't know who they are. We can't just study them because we end up understanding who they are, but we're lost to who we are. We have to put them things on that scale of Mayat and balance it. So today I have Breaking Rank by a former pig, Norm Stamper. And I just want to read something to you on page 92. It's page 92. And this is in reference of Amadou Diallo, who was murdered by race soldiers in 1999 for simply reaching for his wallet. And I know a lot of us will remember that when we talk about that. But it's something interesting he says when talking about Amadou Diallo. He says, no, Diallo was killed because of his dark skin. There's a Peckerwood talking now. Diallo was killed because of his dark skin. A white man reaching for his wallet under identical circumstances, including a language barrier, would have been given the benefit of the doubt. Now, this is where it gets, listen to this. Simply put, white cops are afraid of black men. We don't talk about it. We pretend it doesn't exist. We claim color blindness, in parentheses or quote fingers, color blindness. We say white officers treat black men the same way they treat white men, but it's a lie. In fact, check this out. In fact, the bigger, the darker, the blacker the man, the greater the fear. The African American community knows this. Hell, most whites know it. Yet, even though it's a central, if not the defining ingredients in the makeup of police racism, white cops won't admit it to themselves or to others. This is page 92 on Breaking Rank by Norm Stamper, a former pig. So this is not my interpretation, because what happens is anytime you see a radical, outspoken brother or sister, our people in the level of mental side that has been induced in them automatically see us as the aggressors. Because the psychological damage that has been done tells us anybody that's resisting is a troublemaker. You're not supposed to resist. Let them beat you. Let them kill you. They are officers of the law. So in a post that I wrote earlier, I said, we don't even understand the conflict. I mean, we talk about equality. This is what always kills me. We want to be equal to race of people that hump animals, white folks. We want to be equal to recessive people that age like rotten fruit. We want to be equal to the unbalanced. We want justice from the unjust. We want civil rights or civilness from the uncivil. See where I'm going on that? So to understand this brother that was murdered, Raynard Brooks, 27 years old, keep that in mind, what I read. Their first line of thought, there's a story. His name is Ryan Gilroy. I'm going to have to get back on the spelling of that name. And this was an article written a while back, and I think it took place in Arizona. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. But I think this took place in Arizona or somewhere. And he's rumbling with the cops. Now let's get into this resistance. He's rumbling with the cops. I mean, he's taking their weapons. He's fighting. He even shot at them. He was peacefully taken in. He wasn't tased. He wasn't murdered. They shot this young 27-year-old brother in the back. So when I say ain't no good pigs or good officers, I mean that in the form of all pigs are hypocritical. Because the hypocrisy says we uphold the law, yet some officers may not commit these crimes. Some officers never have murdered. Some officers will take up for you. But we must understand, like in none of Francis Cress Welsing, 9 areas of people activity. Law. How does that law work in the context of racism, white supremacy, or white terrorism? Because that's what it is. We don't even want to give the NOMO. NOMO means power. We don't even want to give the NOMMO. We don't even want to give the NOMO the power to this supreme talk. White terrorists. Ever since them encountering us, it's been nothing but terror. So when I say it's a devil, what they taught you in church, the devil comes to what? Who knows? Steal, kill, and destroy. So, with everything that how we got here, we can get into a history lesson of who had what. But if we understand us to be the original people in the way that we understand, and understand that we had everything, we had civilizations built, we had spiritual systems built, we had language systems already built before the European was even thought of. So fast forward to 2020. How did we get in this situation to where we are the quote unquote inferior and they are the superior? Racism, white terrorism is a system, y'all. None of Neely Fuller has told us this. But we don't listen to Neely Fuller. We'd rather listen to Tim Wise. We'd rather listen to Jane Elliott. Because to a lot of y'all, it's much peaceful coming from a white person. It's like being in an abusive relationship. You know, this person has been beating the hell out of you all this time, whipping on you. And that one time they show something decent or nice, bring you flowers, do whatever they want to do, get freaky with you, whatever you need to see to say, maybe that ain't so bad. So just think about everything you witnessed throughout these last 3 weeks of the protest that has taken place. Think about them sucking up to us with making Juneteenth in some places a paid holiday. Because they understand our importance, y'all. It is you. It is you who don't understand. It is you that have these delusional ideas of they not like that, because back to this abusive relationship. They have been abusing us since encountering us. And the one time we see a cop make a good gesture. What was funny about the brother Raynard Brooks and the brother that recorded the entire incident, he said something that we need to pay attention to. He said something in his video, and I can't find the video, but he said the officers, all of the witnesses that were quote unquote complying and working with them, they were buttering them up, buying them Wendy's, buying them food and treats. Because this is what abusers do in their pathology, correct? I mean, go back to what's love got to do with it. The first time, one of the times when Ike really beat up Tina, and us fools joke about that. What did he do? He brought her a gift. Because they want to woo you back in. They want to show you race soldiers kneeling with you. In solidarity. Damn it, brother, I feel your pain. And we fall for it. We fall for it. Hook, line, and sink. All the pig ain't gonna do me like that. Oh, it's some good cops. See, they ain't all like that, but it's a system. LeBron James is one basketball player in a system. So he's a dynamic player, right? He ain't that good to me, but that's an off-topic subject. But in that system, he's one person. In this coaching system, let's see. See, we got to use it all. They said, well, Alabama, the Crimson Tide, are good in Nick Saban's system. The New England Patriots are good under Belichick's what? System. So you can bring any player out, any individual, because there are individuals in the system. So not every pig maybe want to openly lynch you or fire off on you. That's not what I'm saying. But in this systematic way of thinking, in this systematic control, he or she is not going to say nothing because it's the fraternal order. They've taken an oath. You good cops? And I hope this video makes it to you good cops. You good cops that say slave catcher stuff like, well, next time somebody break in your house, call a crackhead. Don't call us. Because we fear y'all. The people fear you. Just like how y'all pretend y'all fear for y'all lives. We fear. We've seen this brother was shot in his back. And I know it's going to be saying he was resisting, he was fighting. Look, there's a natural instinct in warrior spirit that if you are being handled in an unjust way, sometimes if you just hit me, my reaction caused me to fight back. I'm not going to say it's wrong because we've been so induced into subordinate way of thinking, inferior way of thinking that we feel supposed to just lay there and take it. Go peaceful. They could beat the hell out of you on the way to the station. They could kill you, but just go with them. And we tell our children this. And so I don't get upset with the children when I see a young child that says, I want to grow up to be a police officer, because they think that they can change. This one person can change that system. But it takes a collective of good cops. And I don't trust y'all because y'all can never be cops. Y'all can never not be cops. Let me put it like that. I don't trust y'all because y'all pretend to uphold the law, but you like this. And you can't tell me these good cops don't know the corruption that's going on. So that will always place them as hypocrites in my eyes. You can't uphold the law and turn blind eye to the law. But there's that key word again in Mama Frances Cress Welsing and Baba Neely Fuller's 9 areas of people activity. Law. In the system of racism, white terrorism. So here we are with another brother. Are we going to ride for Brother Brooks the way we rode for George Floyd? It was all about George, gold caskets, everything. Now ask yourself about that game. What's the difference between his life and Brother Brooks' life? Because Stephen Jackson was his twin, quote unquote. I don't even want to speak on Al Sharpton. I was going to bring up, but I don't want to bring up Blow Pop Head. Where are the leaders? Where are the leaders? Where's Farrakhan? C-O-N. He's a modern day Jesse Jackson. I know y'all might not like that. So he's a modern day Jesse Jackson. He's a modern day John Lewis. He's a modern day Al Sharpton. They track this old Negro out and bring him out to make old fiery speeches. And you gonna know who I am. Then go somewhere with all of that. Go somewhere with all of that, Farrakhan. What do we do, black people? What do you tell your child constantly live in fear? That because you put on a blue uniform, your life matters more than this person over here? That's the message we gonna send? But we talking about equality. Well, I just want to be equal. I just want to be in an equal society. I don't want to be all that. I ain't into all of that. What we gonna tell these children? That if we fight back, they got you in such a control that you can't even think about fighting back. Letting on tell them people to wage war and open fire. But they can open fire on you. They can be afraid, but we can't be afraid. They can be afraid for their life. They got tasers, mace, baton, guns, backup, police dogs, vests, riot gear, and I got on basketball shorts. Who should be in fear? Who should be the one afraid? So what you tell that child that when they see people like the warrior that's still fighting, Mumia Abu Jamal, who did nothing. He didn't kill that cop. But to in the system of law, that's a thinking nigga off the street. Oh well. And we won't get behind him. We forget about Mumia Abu Jamal. We forget about Russell Schultz. We forget about all the real warriors and get behind Derek Grace, who sits with crackers and love crackers. Continuing to keep us in this constant state of confusion, looking for good people, looking for good white people, looking for good cops. We listen to 19 Keys, who have a cop in his video, saying contradicting, conflicting messages to the people. Gotta wake up, y'all. This is in Atlanta. T.I. gets his dumb behind up on TV talking about this is Wakanda, it's sacred. Ain't no damn Wakanda, T.I. It's real life. This ain't no damn Killmonger. Now I know you have been removed from reality, living where you live, Buckhead. I don't know where he lives, but living wherever you live in the fancy part of Atlanta. So I know his worldview has been skewed and he really don't see what he once claimed to see or what he once claimed to represent in his earlier music. This ain't no damn Wakanda. These are innocent brothers and sisters and children's lives. What was Tamir Rice doing? They didn't even get out the car when they executed Tamir Rice. Should he have not resisted to? A child. One thing about and kill all this Karen shit stuff. I'm trying, audience, but kill all this Karen stuff. Oh, Karen goes again. Call them what they are: murderers, racists, Neanderthals, dogs, terrorists. No damn Karen. Stop being nice to them. Stop pacifying them. Stop being afraid to put them in their proper context, in their proper category. Terrorists. So with this one, I forget where it takes place. And like I said, I'm always a brother with a message. So if you know answers that I don't, help me. But anyway, there was one, and I think she was a lawyer. And she spit on a 17-year-old Black Lives Matter protest. Now, I got my issues with Black Lives Matter, but that's not the point of this, what I'm making. Because it's just like the Nation of Islam. The Nation is Islam, but the Nation of Islam is, once again, it's a system. It's a religious system. But there are great people in that organization. But they're caught up in their teacher's way of thinking. I actually think Erica Lachey, call me sister, but I actually think Erica Lachey is a great person. I actually think Golden Child is a great brother. I actually think Ben X is a great brother. So I have no issues with the individuals, but they're in the system. But anyway, back to this Black Lives Matter spitting incident. And I think the terrorist or the cracker was a lawyer. And this is what we understand when we continue to study them, study their way of thinking. Study their way of thinking. She's being confronted by multiple colors. Whites, y'all like the browns. Everybody's out there. And this tells you how calculated they are and how they know what they do. Everybody is in her face. Who does she choose to spit on? The 17-year-old black person. She didn't spit on the white man. She didn't spit on the quote unquote brown. She spit on the black child, the black youth. So fast forward when they confront her, they go to her house, a bunch of other Europeans. Cracker crisis? Yeah. And as they are saying, you spit on a 17-year-old kid. She corrects them. She says, no, I spit on a man that was assaulting me or something. So back to Tamir Rice. What does that have to do with what I'm saying with Tamir Rice? They see you as a 13, 14, 15, 12, however, man. Gives them the right to shoot in their mind. Because this is a man, a 10-year-old man. Notice the media, and they'll say a precocious kid when it comes to a baby Urugu. A precocious kid. Misguided youth. How they use their words in the media. To get you to even say, well, maybe he shouldn't have did it. But you can go to other instances because the law is fair, right? It's equal, right? So every European that has rumbled with the cops, why they aren't dead? Because the Europeans understand not to kill their own. Now they will. Never get it twisted. They will kill their own mothers, fathers, children for the sake of white terrorism, to keep this system functioning the way it should. It is you who have these delusional visions of holding hands with little stale white people and little cracker crumbs, having your children to play with their little cracker crumbs. It is you. It's not me with the problem. I understand my enemy. And I understand my enemy wants to kill me. He wants to kill me sexually. He wants to kill me mentally. He wants to kill me physically. He wants to kill me spiritually. He wants to kill me in every aspect to keep me from being a threat to him. And we'd rather stick our boys in this league to play for them to be non-threatening. So my heart go out to the family. I don't know all the details of Brother Raynard, but riding for you, soldier. And when we understand black people, this collective way of thinking, that when it happens to one of us, it happens to all of us. Because when you kill one cop, they all mount up on your behind. When you get one cracker, they all mount up on your behind. Because they understand their system. They understand their brotherhood, their sisterhood, their commonality. We don't have none. We all over the place. We ain't Africans. We Aboriginal. I'm an Aboriginal Ninja Turtle Chinese. Huh? I'm a little confused. We at war and y'all still talking about we ain't black. No, if he didn't say he was black, they wouldn't do that. As the Nana Amos Wilson say, as if they do that just because of that. They kill us because we're terrorists. They're terrorists. They kill us because they fear us the most. And all y'all Mexicans who think you're different or brown, you get rid of us, you're next. You the new nigga. Your children are the next victims. but we just pose the biggest threat to their genetic survival. So if y'all film my videos, I'm gonna keep making them. I'm not gonna go nowhere. I'm gonna keep making them. But I had to get this off my heart because I'm tired. Inbox me, message me. I'm nation building. It's the only way we gonna do is to establish our own system, and they can't come in. I don't care how cool they are. I don't care how long you've known them. I don't care if you taught them how to make Kool-Aid. I don't care if they grew up around us. They are still in our culture. They are knockoffs of us. The Kardashians or Kardashians are knockoffs of beautiful black women. Y'all beautiful sisters. John B., Justin Timberlake, all the other Wiggins, Eminem, wannabes. They're knockoff versions of us. Machine Gun Kelly, knockoff versions of us. John B., a knockoff version of us, black men. And until we stand up and take our rightful place, and it ain't on no knees begging, we shall overcome for the next 10 years, or teaching our kids, it's a better way. But if you just do it this way, you teach them to be smart. You teach them to arm themselves with knowledge first. Knowledge of themselves, knowledge of this system, knowledge of the European, and all other things will be added. So I'm here. If anybody like what I'm saying and want to know more, I'm here. I'm here, and I love the people, and I'm for the people. You ain't gonna get no me on the stage crying like Killer Mike, begging to work it out with the police. No. So I love my black people. I love my black people only. Make no bones about that. So as I greet you, I leave you in the words of BB Fahodier.